I'll be showing you how to use the basic commands in an Autodesk Inventor workspace. Okay, so what I'll be um, showing you guys is basic use of the commands. So let's start with this. So you have your line, circle, arc, and rectangle. So you can actually create various forms. You can um, actually do freehand or maybe have let's say an image. You can upload an image here and trace over it and then adjust the dimensions accordingly. So for now I'll just show you the basic. So you have, let's say, 10 mm for the measurements, then another 10 mm. So okay, so with this you lock in the dimension. So basically this is fixed. Whenever you try to draw a line or you're trying to extend this line, you can just click and then edit, let's say 25 mm, and then it increases in size. Okay, so or if you want that it will be just like 5 mm, so it will adjust accordingly. So the thing with Inventor is you have to include actual dimensions or fixed dimensions to create the design that you want to achieve. So I'll just adjust it back to 10 mm. So with this, you have to be more explorative when it comes to making connections, or if you want um, a design to develop a design. So with this, I'll just draw another line. I'll just create a circle in the middle. So this is the intersection, and then maybe I'll draw another line here in the center, something like that. Right. So with this, you have this basic form. What you can do if you have, let's say, if I just want this design, so you create the basic shapes and then you just trim. So trim the excess. So all of the intersections will remain, or that will just stay in place. So for example, so that is an excess line. Okay, I don't need you can delete this. Hey, yeah, you can just delete that, delete the lines that you don't need. So you have this, right, this design. So you have fillet, you have point. If I want to create multiple points, you can just include that. And then for you guys to have, let's say I want to draw an arc here, there, and you have a fixed measurement, so you can do that. Okay, so I want to trim this line off, so you can do that if you really want this line. So another one, so you have your offset. So this is your offset. So when you do offset, so it's basically creating thickness or something of the like. So okay, let's say 2 mm. So that's your offset already. Okay, so let's say I want an offset that you can, if you want to select everything, you just select the whole um, object. Then you, let's say I'll offset to 1 mm. Okay, so this is your offset to 1 mm. So if you want to scale it, so you can actually scale. First, you select the object, and then you can start at your base point. So the base point is where you'll be starting your scale. So I'll click on select again. So I click on, let's say I'll click on this area, or where's that? So I click on that area. So I'll select the base point. So whenever it has, like, let's say a dimension that you place there, so it will actually restrict the intended position. Since Inventor is more or less like a data or a measure, like they're more fixed with the inputs. So there's little to no room to make adjustments without considering it's part of a whole design. So if you want to adjust it and you don't really care for the other items to be stretched out, so you can just relax it if necessary. So, so you can remove the constraint so you can actually scale it up. So as you can see, so that's your scale. So you'll have whatever objects that you'll be selecting. So that's the one that you can actually move. So you can change, as you can see, whenever I stretch it out, the scale factor on the left keeps on adjusting. Okay, so I'll just cancel that. So you can actually do that. So for this, let's say I want to mirror this image or this design. So this would actually have this actually happens when it comes to symmetrical na design when it comes to furniture. So here I am uploading. So I'm creating this mirror pattern. So you select the objects which you'll be mirroring, and then you select the mirror line, and then you apply. Okay, there you go. So it's done. So this is your shape or your form. Okay, so I'll just clean this up. I'll remove this line and create more lines just to close the model or the design. Just, so I want you guys to be more familiar with the commands. So they don't necessarily have the same commands as AutoCAD or SketchUp, but I just wish just hope that you guys can actually, um, let's say explore more. So you have that. And then, so with the dimension, it will actually constrain. So let's say this is already 10. Okay, so I'll check. Okay, that's already 10 mm. If you want to adjust your design, you can actually change the dimension here. So that's like, so it would actually move the point kung asa ni mo siya connect. So if I say that I want to scale up or change the measurement of the whole thing, so you can use the scale. So mani siya. Ay, just make my selection. So you select, and then you scale. So as you can see, since I already inputted the dimension, so it's really locked into this 10 mm. But if you want that you decide to actually scale up or to make the object seem larger or scale it up a bit larger, you can relax the dimension if you really want, if you intended to adjust it. So so the geometry is constrained to the other geometry, so you can remove the constraint of the dimension. Okay, so with that, as you can see, it's adjusting. So it's editing while you're moving it. So as you can see, it's 18 mm, 18. Okay, so that's how you do your scale. So the thing with Inventor, it's more intuitive. So when you make adjustments, it makes adjustment somewhere else. Okay, so I'll just finish the sketch. All right. So this is, I think, the most, like, let's say, fun part if you're still in the creative process. So you have your extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, and everything. So you have your ribbed, embossed, your hole, fillet, your chamfer, your shell, your thread, and then combine and direct and something a lot, everything, and your plane, and then your axis, your point. So you can actually utilize these commands to suit whatever design you're trying to develop. So I'll create a simplified design first. So you have extrude. So if you notice that the other side was removed, so it's because it's just a one part. So if it's connected by by a form, so let's say I'll go back to my sketch. Okay, I'll just go back to my sketch and edit this. So maybe I'll create a line in the middle. So I'll create here. So I'll create a line and then maybe trim off the edges, the excess. Okay. Hanap ako. Okay. So, so you have, whenever you do edits with regards to your design, you should have it in sketch mode, because sometimes when you just draw over in your, ay nako, in in 3D, it doesn't really stick unless, yeah, it doesn't really adjust. So just, okay, I'm having trouble with the trim. Anyway, okay, I'll just finish the sketch na lang and continue. So especially this that we're using the mirror na command, so I can just extrude this. So extrude this to around 5 mm. So you have this, and then you can still actually, you can actually mirror this. Uh, you can actually mirror this design as well. So for now, I'll just work on this model. Okay. So you have the navigation just to move around your model, so you can check all sides, and then you can just return to home. Okay. So with this, you have um your, let's say, let's use the chamfer, so you can chamfer the edges. So with this, maybe a 1 mm. So I'll just click on orbit. So as you can see, the edge is chamfered. Okay. So I'll go back to home to reset my view. And then you can also use fillet to round off the edges. So I can select this, and then maybe I'll ra- adjust the radius to 0.5 mm. So, okay, so you can actually play around and then see what would actually happen if we make changes with regards to the, let's say, to the data. So you can actually adjust. Okay, so just cancel that. And then for the shell, so you can actually, for the shell, it's creating a certain, well, shell like na feature, so you can actually change the thickness. So I'll change the thickness to 2 mm, point 0.2. So it's creating this shell structure, so you can see what would work. So this is inside, it's a shell outside, or in between. So please play around with that more. Okay, right. So I'll cancel that. And then you have Daft. So can actually have varied degrees. Okay, so just check on what. Okay, all right. So also, when you'll be creating or drawing on a for a particular plane, you can actually select this and see. So for example, this is my plane. So I can draw. So I'll create a plane here in which, Okay, so you can select the plane, the axis, and then the point. So let's see. So you can check if you can work here. So you have to play around with the points or what you wanted to achieve. Okay, so wait. Okay, so with this model, you still have the pattern, so you can actually you can mirror the object. So maybe you can mirror it. So the YZ plane, you can mirror the XY plane, or you can mirror the XY XZ plane. So features. Okay. So it would actually, okay. So as you can see, so whatever plane you select, so that diha siya mo mirror. So you can actually mirror. So let's say I'll mirror on this plane. I'll mirror on this plane. Hold on. So I'll mirror on this plane. So there. So whichever face that you'll be selecting or which plane you'll select, so you can actually have that. So if I want to mirror that on, let's say this is my mirror plane. So maybe then I click OK. Okay. So since I selected the plane, then it would actually mirror that. So say, so you can actually play around with the pattern. So you have your circular pattern. So let's say, so this is your rotation axis. It's basically your reference line. So you have different rotational areas. So you can actually do that pattern. Okay. And you can even have a pattern in vertical line. So let's say direction. And then let's say you want around 10. So say with 5 mm spacing. So that would connect each other. So okay, so there's a lot of things you can actually do with regards to your inventor if you just explore it more, and then you'll actually understand what are the functions. So okay, so you have your loft feature, so you can actually do that. Your revolve feature. Okay, so maybe making plane. Okay, so this happens when there are a lot of commands at stake. So as you can see, no closed loop. So for building a profile, so it would actually tell you what it needs from the design input. Okay, so I think that's it for now. So I'll just leave you out to explore more and learn about the inventor. So you can actually play around with the shapes or forms and then develop your design as you go along. So